So Terri spent several years as regional marketing manager for the 5th largest accounting firm in Canada, hosting networking events, creating unique ways for clients to meet, and spearheading partner growth strategies. Aside from community-minded campaigns and branding activities, she developed provincial-wide marketing plans to help strengthen and grow clientele. Through her media experience, Terri understands the value of building awareness and can navigate purchasing or sponsoring of airtime leading up to an event. Her unique perspective also makes her a great fit for professional athletes as a handler. That sounds like fun. Who can address high-pressure situations and everything in between. She's built her business by creating strong and trusted relationships, relishing in the opportunities to use events as a vehicle to bring people together. That's where we go, Terri approaches experiences with creativity, vision, and a keen sense of ownership. Her combination of skills plus an underlying passion for supporting charities and nonprofits help bring spark to life. So let's get shaken with Terri.
Woo. Let's give her a big hand, everybody.
Okay, so I'm lucky enough to draw the first question. So, Terri Sewel,
Sure.
You have had a very successful career prior to starting your business. As did we both, and my dad said, what are you starting a business for? You're doing really good. So what was the aha moment when you decided to risk it all and become an entrepreneur?
Well, first of all, I think I should have a longer bio there. I don't think you quite read that long enough.
I cut that bio in half, by the way.
Yeah, I'm sure you did. That's kind of embarrassing. And a handler, we'll get to that later, the details on that.
I hope so.
For me, I was with MNP, like you mentioned, in that lengthy bio, and I was loving it. I was playing the Saskatoon Corporate Challenge on the side of my desk, and it was going well. And there was a time where I had, my first child, and I went on mat leave, and I had this phone call from Kelly Chase, who was an ex-NHL player, and needed help with an event here in Saskatoon and said that I was the event planner to work with, which I was shocked at that time because I wasn't at all. I was kind of running an event on the side. I was on mat leave, but I ended up taking that contract. We had that event together, the Kelly Chase Fantasy Hockey Camp, and it went unbelievable. We raised over $150,000 for charity, and it was really, really cool. It was a lot of fun. And then I had to kind of make a decision because I was still working at MNP at the time, so I kind of had 2 full-time gigs, also trying to parent and in between mat leaves and those types of things, and I thought, you know what? I might just give this thing a go. I'm going to try working on this project with Kelly. A few more engagements came through. Ended up working closer with Read Saskatoon, another nonprofit. Ended up picking a couple galas up, a golf tournament up, and I thought, holy man, there's not enough hours in the day. So it wasn't like I thought I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur, like some people do. I was like, okay, I'm going to try this out. It just seems like the next logical stage, and if it doesn't work, I can always go back. I can always go back to an MNP or a bank, or I had a career at the credit union for a while, and let's just give this a shot. And with a supportive husband, I did. And then we ended up getting more and more contracts, and we're up to about 40 events this year, I think, which is pretty cool and pretty fun, as well as being a handler, which is so amazing. And the rest is kind of like history. I never ever thought this would be my path.
It chose you.
It chose me, maybe. Yeah. It was one of those things just kind of walked into, and I really enjoyed it, and I thought, hey, let's give it a shot. So it wasn't by design at all, but it's worked out pretty good so far. Yeah, no complaints.
So Terri, I worked with you with the Sheraton when you were 36 events.
Yes.
And with Kelly Chase. So
Absolutely.
we'll get to check Kelly later because that's a whole different story.
You know him just as good as I do. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. So you were 36 events is what your name of your company was. And like you said, you started off with a couple of things and then now you've grown to 40. So now the rebranding, right? Your Sparks Creation and Bookings. Yep. So tell me a little bit about what made you go to rebrand and a little bit more about why you're not this traditional event planner and what makes you different and unique.
For sure. So 36 events. Does anyone here know what that actually stands for? It was.
I do.
Oh, you researched it.
I think so.
Or did I? What does it stand for?
I'm totally wrong. Isn't that Kelly Chase's number?
Oh my gosh.
He's
number 39, but that's exactly one of the reasons why I needed to change it.
Okay.
But yeah, people are like, oh, you're his admin assistant, and you're. But yeah, no, 306 is in Saskatchewan. So we ended up getting a couple contracts outside of our province. So when I was in St. Louis, for example, doing an event with Kelly for the Ice Guardians premiere, people would say, oh, what's your business name? And I would say 36 events. What does that mean? It means Saskatchewan up in Canada. Like we're in the middle of the
North of North Dakota.
Yeah, and so it didn't really mean as much to me anymore. And the events piece as well, like we branched into talent booking, for example. So we'll hire professional athletes or guest speakers for events. So that's not really what a traditional event planner does. And of course, my best friend's Heather from Rock and Bloom. So she kind of heard me telling all these different stories about how the business is moving. And she's like, do you think maybe you need a new brand? I'm like, oh yeah, this is what you guys do. This is what you guys do so amazingly. I know they have a lot of clients in the room. But we kind of started talking and having conversations. And I thought, yeah, now's the time, because Kelly and I combined our businesses. So we thought it was the perfect timing. So it's Spark Creations and Bookings because of the kind of two different arms. So yeah, what was the second half of your question there? I think I went on a tangent.
What makes
I'm
you
so
not
good at this.
Yeah. What makes you not such a traditional event planner?
Thanks.
What makes you unique and different?
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
I
Part
have
of
it written down. By
yeah,
the way.
I'm like, I should have came prepared. I'm feeling a little nervous here. You guys got your notes prepared, and I'm just me and sitting here with a mic. But
because I'm drinking, I need notes in front of me.
And mine is
No
water
surprise,
down
I'm
here.
drinking too.
Shocker. What makes us I have secrets on you too. We did work together, so watch it. We both got a mic. What makes us a little bit different, I think, is we don't plan weddings. That's why I always tell people we get a lot of inquiries, on weddings, and I said, you don't want me planning your wedding. I'm going to start making a sponsorship package for your wedding. I'm going to start bringing in 3 Farmers products to have as snacks, because I love that company. So we don't do the traditional events. We do things that raise money. So we work with about 95% of our businesses that we work with are nonprofit. And our strategy there is to how to get them more money or bigger brand development and bring more awareness to them. So we really work on strategy with that. And we bring in, either it's bringing in talent to help with that, or unique venues, different venues, unique caterers, that type of thing. But that's what makes us a little bit different, is I always have that budget hat on and what their goals are. So we can rock a great gala with decor and everything like that, but we can also talk about the bottom line. Yeah. So
you're a one-stop shop.
Well, yeah, you kind of hope so. Yeah, we do have some really cool partners. For example, design partners that come in and help us with those pieces, media partners that come on. But yeah, we certainly have some connections to make it that one-stop shop for sure.
Awesome. Yeah. So how long have you been an entrepreneur now?
Well, I don't think I have been. To be honest with you, I have no idea why I'm up here, because I see all you guys are very strong entrepreneurs. So I've never viewed myself as an entrepreneur. Isn't that goofy?
Yeah,
because I own a business, so it's like the definition. Yeah, it's weird. So yeah, I guess I've owned my own business for about 7 years now. Yeah. So I guess the answer is 7 years, but I've just been having fun.
If you don't really class yourself, I'm guessing that this is a difficult question then. So what would you give people who, are planning to or are new entrepreneurs? What would you give them as advice, maybe what to do, what not to do? Yeah,
for me, it's like someone that's starting out and doing something they're passionate about. For me, it's about the connections that you make. Yeah. So that to me is life. It's all about who you meet either in the current job that you're at. So for me, reaching out and doing my own thing got me into a whole new connection with really great people. Whether it's people that different nonprofits that I can help, whether it's the NHL circles and you connect with really cool business people who are doing really great things and donating their money to charity. So for me, I would say that's the biggest thing. Like it's all about your goals and what you want out of life. And for me, it was making those connections. So yeah, that's what I would say. Just follow your heart, and if that feels good, do it. Yeah. And for me, again, I had the support and 2 small kids at home and those types of things. That still made it possible, because I still wanted that flexibility. That was still important to me, to walk them to school and be able to pick them up after. So being an entrepreneur allowed me that flexibility to do that.
So you can work those 70 hours any time in the week.
Yeah, right? Yeah. I know, like evenings, weekends, it all gets done. But yeah, my big thing is just do what feels right. And you can always go back to that safe job. Just don't burn any bridges while you're getting out, if that's your thing. But yeah, if you're feeling it, just go for it. Like, I have a lot of friends here. I have a girlfriend here who has a company called Smile and Go, and she's rocking that company. She's doing a great job and dabbling in it and doing what she wants to do. So it's not like you have to quit your full-time job and go crazy and do this new big advancement in your career. You can kind of dabble and see how that goes. And if you like it, keep going that path. And if you don't, go back to that 9 to 5.
Yeah,
and
it's definitely changed.
That's how I feel.
Yeah. So you can do things online and do things separately.
I think so, right?
So I know you said that you've come a different route because you're not really being the event planner who's kind of been the person that's kind of putting the table centers together and stuff like that. But having been to a few of your events and having seen some of your events, they look amazing.
Oh, thank you.
So give us some Sewel secrets on making an event really special.
Well, I can get one of them to stand up. It's Twyla Joy is in the front here. It's having a good team around you because she cares about the centerpieces. I do not. Twyla, give everyone a wave. Yeah. Honestly, I give her a round of applause. Thank
she's
God.
She's the fluffer.
Yes.
You have to have fluffers on your team. I have fluffers on my team, and I'm the director. I'm the making. Yeah, but
that's
you need
an
to
interesting
have that.
term. I will never call you a fluffer, Twyla. That I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I'm the
That could go
handler
a
and
different
she's the
way.
fluffer. I don't know. I'm not sure if that's the way. But yeah,
You could get interesting calls if you put
yeah,
down your
I don't
sign.
know. I don't know. But that's what I would
Director of
say.
fluff.
Yeah. Just on your name tag there. But I would say, yeah, surround yourself with people that can do those types of things and you make it look easy. And for me too, like it's bringing in that right caterer that can make that look beautiful because I certainly don't have the interest or the capability to do that. So, and venues, like you mentioned, this is a great venue. I bring a lot of my events obviously to Sheraton too because you just trust the staff and you surround yourself by really great people. And again, that's, I guess, what I wanted to do with kind of doing my own thing is, again, building that army behind you. So.
Yeah, because as the event coordinator, it all comes back to you at the end of the day,
You
no
know
matter
it.
who uses third parties. So
You know it, so.
Okay, so we're gonna get to Kelly Chase.
Oh.
So he's a Saskatchewan-born guy.
Yep.
He played WHL, kind of a fighter. Really a big, like you think, oh, he's a fighter kind of guy, but he's a sweetheart. And I've dealt with him a number of times with you as well on his fantasy hockey camp.
we both handled it.
And we both handled him. No, he's hard to handle. He is very
we
hard
don't
to
handle him, no.
rein in.
Yep.
But you have a great relationship, and he has provided you with great opportunities. And so then all of a sudden, I was just really shocked. I know you kind of said, wait, it's coming, and then became Spark.
Yep.
And he's your partner. So tell us about how this all became and what does he play in this partnership?
Well, it's pretty cool. Just to give it perspective, so when I started working with Kelly, I knew the name because he's a little bit older than me, and I knew that he played in the NHL and those types of things, and he's from Porcupine Plain, and we had a cabin close by. But when I started working with him on the fantasy camp, I just thought that it sounded like a really good event. We had 36 NHLers coming into town, and we're going to put on a little bit of a hockey tournament. But when we sat down and we were talking about the logistics, so he's not a details guy with logistics or anything. Everything just happens, right? Like the tables get set, the people come in, that just all happens automatically to
That
him.
happens in my house too.
Yeah, exactly. So we're chatting and we're going through a few details, and he said, well, we have this wine supplier that'll come in and he'll provide all the wine for the event. And I said, oh, great. And I'm thinking, why is he handling a detail like that? And I said, can you just pass me the number? And he goes, well, it's Wayne's wine. I got it. It's okay. I'll just deal with Wayne. And I said, well, you can just pass me Wayne's number. Like, is he a wine rep in Saskatoon? Like, who is it, right? He's like, it's Wayne Gretzky. I'm like, oh, Wayne Gretzky. You can deal with that one. I'll just be in the background here shuffling paper. Like, so right there, I was like, oh, wow, like he's definitely connected. He's got that one. And he then worked with Garth Brooks, brought Garth Brooks in around that same time. And I'm like, okay, this guy knows what's going on, right? And just seeing him interact with people, it's mutual respect. So he's got everyone's back. He's a protector, right? He had that role on the ice. And he certainly has that with his friends and things. So I've learned a ton from him. Not on how to plan an event in any stretch, but just how to work those relationships and how that's what matters in life. It's about giving back to charity, which he is behind a ton of projects here that no one's even aware of, but that's him, right? He doesn't want his name on things. So yeah, I think we complement each other well because I don't put up with him either because he's a tough customer sometimes. Like he wants things done yesterday, and I just explained to him that that's not really feasible. But yeah, it's been about 4 years working together, and honestly, I feel lucky. He has an amazing family that they've just brought me into, and yeah, I have no idea where I'd be otherwise. I guess still at MNP probably, which is fine. MNP is great, but this is a lot more fun.
I'm going to jump so we do kind of give her a hint of what questions we're going to kind of ask, but I have one that I want to throw in. Where do you see, so you talk about 7 years, been working with Kelly for 4, where do you see Spark? What is your focus in the next 3 to 4 years?
I love that question, actually, because I've been doing a lot of thinking lately since the rebrand, and Heather always plants questions in my head that make me think about direction and where we are going. And I always think what makes me most excited, right? Like, I love the charity aspect. And to say I had just a little part in raising that money last night. You know, we helped that nonprofit raise that $30,000, that $300,000. But the part that's making me really excited, because I have Twyla on my team, I have Kristen on my team, I've got Bob on my team, so we have a pretty cool team, is the talent booking side. It's actually talking to nonprofits and saying, okay, how can we generate more excitement for your event? Because there's a lot of galas in town. There's a lot of golf tournaments in town. There's a lot of similar events. So what can we do to make that different? Is it bringing someone in? Is it taking that group somewhere else? So I'm kind of thinking along the paths of that talent piece and working a little bit more on that, maybe doing some experience packages for people where you maybe fly somewhere for a game and come back, so some corporate retreats perhaps, or again, fundraising pieces. So I see that part of our business kind of starting to take off, because this talent piece, we also work with the Kinsman Club, so on their sports celebrity dinners, we've had an opportunity to work with like Mary Lemieux, and this year we have Cam Neely coming in and quite a few gentlemen from the Bruins, and that excites me too. Like, it's pretty neat. Yeah, so I see our paths going that way as well.
Yeah,
so.
There's a lot of dinners and a lot of fundraising competition. It's though it's not
unfortunately
nonprofit,
it is.
It's competition. Yeah. And it's like, oh, it's the same old dinner. So nonprofits and charitable gala dinners have to kind of stick out and be different and unique. And so when you find something that's very different, then you will
like Swinging with the Stars.
Like Swinging with the Stars, which we'll talk about later.
Please do. You're going to show us, actually.
Oh, no, not yet.
Yeah, you are.
Okay.
Great.
But even tomorrow, you have the lawyers.
Classic law.
What is it? The classic law.
Classic law,
and it's
Cirque
Cirque
du
du
Classique.
Soleil. Like, it's really different. And I'm looking at the kind of stuff that's happening in our ballroom.
you.
I'm like, oh, I might have to pop in and see
We
how
have a
this is gonna
Cirque
go.
performer coming.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat. It's just, and again, it's how do you raise more money? Like, that sounds really cool and fun, but again, how does that generate into more revenue for the nonprofit? So, yeah, we've been thinking about some pretty cool ideas, and thanks to venues like yours, you're allowing us for him to bring like a 12-foot apparatus that he's swinging on, which has been
our
like.
ceiling's 10 feet, so I don't know how this is going to work. But.
It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be great. He just goes horizontal. It'll be fine. Yeah.
Limbo.
He actually does. He just swings off that pole. So, on another note, but yeah, it is. And there is a lot of quote unquote competition. Unfortunately, we only have so many dollars to go around, but. At the end of the day, you want that experience to be fun to go out to. You know, that's the first thing I always ask the executive director. I say, is this an event where you actually invite your spouse to? And some people are like, oh gosh, no, they'd be so bored at this event. And then I say, okay, well, I'm not interested in working with you then. Like, if you're not excited about your event, I certainly can't get excited about it. So we talk about those types of things. So do you invite your friends out to your nonprofit event, your fundraiser? No, my friends would never come. Well, what would make them come?
Yeah.
Let's create that experience here, or take it somewhere else. And
gone are the days where you had to press gang people into going.
Yeah.
So if they want to go, the tickets are selling out.
You got it. Yeah, because it's a sell. There's only 300 tickets, only 1,000 tickets to Swinging with the Stars, or whatever that is. You know, you want to go to that. So how do you create that excitement, right? Because there are a lot of options these days.
Yeah,
that's true.
If you want to go to a dinner, there's one every night.
Sara, do you have a surprise question you'd like to?
I think, you know, as a business owner, as an event planner, you know, you've got risk assessment there. So sometimes things go wrong out of your control. Sometimes you make mistakes. You know, how do you deal with that?
Well, I love when things go wrong. I know that sounds crazy, but we have, I don't know what it is about how I'm wired, but I've probably already thought of something that could potentially go wrong. So I'll already think like, okay, what happens if? So I've already had that backup plans and that toolkit of objects ready. It's always a wild card on the talent booking side when you book someone. And then, for example, I booked Brendan Shanahan. So I don't know if anyone's a Maple Leaf fan, but I know it's Brendan Shanahan, but I had never worked with him before. So Kelly booked him, and I'm like, oh man, I hope he's great, right? And everyone's like, well, he's gotta be great. Like, look at his role, and he has this great career. And then I'm like, this could go sideways. He's my keynote speaker at Off the Leash Luncheon, and I have never met the gentleman before, right? But again, it's trust in the people around you and stuff. But and of course he nailed it, because he's just a great gentleman. But it's always that, you know, something can always go wrong, but I've probably thought about it, or it's went wrong in the last event or something.
Yeah,
I
so
haven't
you're ready.
been. Yeah, you're usually ready, and usually have great venues. Like we have amazing venues in Saskatoon where if something doesn't go right on like the catering side or timing, you never really know, or that your client never really knows too. There's always fires put out in the background, but that's the biggest thing, is just making sure your client's not aware of it.
Yeah,
And fixing it before they do.
good advice.
Yeah.
So I always end, because we have a lot of people in the crowd that I'm sure have some questions, so be ready to ask some questions. I always end this segment with my favorite question, which is really, we talk about you and your inspirational story, but who has been an inspiration and a mentor for you in this process? Or just not even this process, just in life.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Again, just going back to the fact that I like to surround myself by really great people. I think that that's what life's about. Inspiration to me are my friends. So those individuals who've stepped outside their comfort zone to start their own businesses and thrive with their careers. But the one inspiration that I, in the last couple of years, have really stand out to me is my mom, actually. My mom and I became extremely close when my dad passed away about 2 years ago, actually 2 years ago last week, and he unfortunately took his life. So that was one of those situations where Mom and I we grouped together, and now she's over almost every single day. You know, she does my books. The worst thing about being an entrepreneur are books, just in case anyone's wondering. So my mom helps me with that. Oh boy, hey. So her and I have kind of regrouped, and she's my inspiration. She's the strongest person I've ever met. She's unbelievable, and she always says the sun's going to come up tomorrow. And she goes, you know what, we'll have a little issue at work or a little issue personally, and she'll say, Terri, we got through your dad passing. We can get through anything together. Yeah. You know, she's that person to me. So, yeah, to me, she's my rock. She's my inspiration for sure. Yeah.
Wow. Well, awesome. Again, I know a lot about Terri, and because we've worked together for a long time and had some wines together too. But I always learn something new, no matter how many people I think I know. And again, have a great appreciation about how awesome you are as a person.
Thank you.
So it's great to know you. But there is people that do know you in the crowd and some that don't. So is there any questions out there that anyone has of Terri?
Never. No, never. Nope. Nope. Yes.
Kelly the protector.
Yes. Because Kelly will, and it's funny because he loves to introduce me as his assistant, because he knows that it gets me riled, right? And I have some witty comeback. Yeah, it is sure interesting because sometimes with my name being Terri, they assume that I'm a gentleman as well until I'm on the phone with them. And we deal with some pretty big companies, and sometimes we deal with agents, for example, who have been in the industry for, say, 25 years and have built that relationship, so they're surprised. And people say that I look younger than I am, which I don't. I look my age. But so I think that they're sometimes surprised. Take it? I don't know. I'm just like, really? I don't look young. But they think that you're not experienced because you might be younger and as well, not male. I find it to be a challenge. I'm not offended by anyone assuming that I'm male or that I should be older than I look or whatever like that. But to me, it's more of a challenge and trying to kind of combat the stigma that I haven't been in the industry for 25 years, and the fact that, you know, I'm not an NHL player either, because I'm dealing with a lot of NHL players and I can't talk on that same level. So on the other side, I think it's sometimes refreshing to people too to deal with someone outside their industry, because a lot of them deal with the same similar people, like-minded, and I'm wired a little bit differently in terms of why I do things. I do it because of my heart too. So when I invite a gentleman in to speak, for example, the off the leash, I give them all the background on why they're speaking, like where the money goes, and I don't think they're used to that. I think they're used to just coming in and filling out the contract and fulfilling it and heading out, whereas I'll follow up with them, tell how much money they raised. So yeah, I think it's just definitely in a different world for sure, because I apparently look younger than I am, which I'm not, and the female piece, but it's definitely, I don't forget about that, and I'm not able to forget about that too. It's a good question. You know what? My favorite person in the world is Ellen.
Oh, yeah.
She's the best. And you know what? I fell in love with her just like as a person. When I was on mat leave, I watched her every single day and I cried with her every single day. And I'm like, if I could just meet her, I wouldn't be able to speak. Because I don't know, I was able to meet Garth Brooks, and he was on my, it's Garth Brooks. And I have a picture of me standing beside him, and my friends bug me about this photo because I have the most ridiculous smile on my face. It doesn't look like me, like it is actually embarrassing, but I was so excited. I lost my words with Garth, and I just cried. And he's like, it's okay. He's like, I'm excited to meet you too. He's like, what do I say? I'm like, I'm sorry, this is a really big deal to me. And then met Ron McLean at CCMAs, and Twyla's like, hey, Ron, come over here. Terri's been dying to meet you. And then I think I froze. I'm like, I really appreciate what you do. Like, holy man, that's pretty cool. But on individual I haven't met, Ellen is like the top. There's no one else in my world. Yeah, she's great. Just her heart, right? But great question.
One more.
No?
Okay, I've got one.
Oh, good.
You did mention it earlier, and you were talking about mat leave, kids. Yeah. Husband helping, and then now you've gone from 4 events to 40 or something. Mm-hmm. Where do you find the balance? Where do you find Terri time or juggling all this?
Yeah, the cool thing, I love the word balance, right? Because it means something different to everyone. Some people think that working 50 or 60 hours a week, they do find balance, which is great. I don't work crazy hours, but I do find the time in the morning to walk my kids to school every morning. So that to me is finding balance in my day, and I still play volleyball twice a week. Anyone that asks me for coffee or lunch, I make time for that stuff because I think that's, again, what matters in life. So for me, I might have to work a couple hours in the evening, but I might have went and got my hair done with someone during the day, or I went and got my nails done, or I went out for coffee with my friend Glenn, or, there's just, I think it's just, for me, balance is working pretty much 7 days a week, but when I choose to. So that's probably not a great answer. I'm not sure that I would write that down or anything, but that's what works for me. And my kids, I don't know. Yeah. Is that about, how do you find balance? Do you mind me asking? Because you're way busier than, you guys are both way busier than me.
Everything is, like you said, everything is individual.
Yeah.
And it just depends on your support system and the people around you. And I'm not going to explain that because there's no such thing as balance.
I think it's as long as you're having fun.
Exactly.
My
you're talking about passion, and you talk about what makes you happy.
Yep.
And so balance goes out the door if you don't feel like you're crazy.
Working.
Yep. Yeah, if you're happy, you're probably balanced.
If you feel like it's fun, then you're enjoying it, so you don't see that. Yeah.
Isn't that the truth? Yeah, as long as you have a smile on your face and you're laughing, to me, that's balance. Especially when you love what you're doing at work. When work doesn't feel like work. Yeah. I don't know, it's kind of like a hobby, and I'm sure you guys both feel that way in your roles too, because they're a lot of fun. But the fact that tomorrow night we're going to be doing a circus theme at the Sheraton, and I'm going to be watching a Cirque performer, and then that's my work. Are you kidding me? I'll do that any day.
This is my work,
Yeah, this is work right now, right? I don't know, we're pretty lucky, I think, to be in those roles. But to me, balance is whatever it means to you, and as long as you have a smile on your face and you're happy, you're rocking it, right? Yeah.
All right. Well, this is the fun part. This is when we really get to know Terri. You say you've been in business for 7 years, and 7 is my lucky number. And so we're going to get into the 7 revelations with Terri.
There you go.
We need that funky music, Dan.
Do we have funky? Play that funky music. No.
Okay.
No
so
music.
I get to go first. No, you get to go.
No,
first.
I get to go first.
Okay, you go first.
Because unfortunately, one of my bucket list items will not happen because the lead singer of Cranberries. I'm very sad that she was on my list. And a beautiful singer. But what is one of your bucket list items?
Well, meeting Ellen is one of them, but I already said that. Going on a flying fishing trip with Ellen. I don't know if she'd fish. I don't think she'd fish. Ellen wouldn't fish, would she?
Catch and release.
She would try it.
I don't think she'd even try, you guys. No. Maybe, but yeah, it's going on a fly-in fishing trip. I know I'm a dork. I know you guys are like, really? That's on your bucket list?
But you have a cabin by Porcupine, so don't you fish normally?
I fish, yeah. Okay. I ice fish, but the
fly-in,
we're like,
fish that have never been
fly-in.
Before.
Oh, fly fishing.
So fly-in.
No,
so
I'm not flying.
I'm
going up north. Yeah, I'm going up north.
No plumbing, no phone.
No. Yeah, and someone to help me. I want a guide person to tell me where the fish are.
Ellen would be useful for that.
Right, Lisa? Yeah, this is what I want. And then I want them to cook me shore lunches.
It's a fish finder.
I have a fish. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one of them.
Do you collect anything?
I collect memories. No, I don't collect anything. I couldn't think. That's so cheesy. Yeah. That's the cheesiest thing I could think of. I collect those Starbucks mugs. You know, like when you go to a city and then they have like Nashville on them, Calgary on them. Sorry, guys. That's all I really got.
And lose them and get another one.
Yeah.
Why is it great to live in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan?
I'm not going to say the people because I've said that enough. The food, the people, the food, the experiences that we have. We have some amazing restaurants here, and I love to eat and drink. So to me, it's the people and the opportunities that we have to kind of go out and experience it. And the festivals. Ton of festivals and things to do outside, and our river's beautiful. That's one answer.
That's a long answer. This is it's a
speed round.
Yeah. Favorite gift to take to a dinner party?
Wine.
Yes. Yes.
Or camelina oil from 3 Farmers.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Okay, so what is your event planning tip 101? And it doesn't have to be like you're an event planner, but you are inviting guests to come over to your house. Like, what is your tip 101? My biggest thing with planning events is always go with things that you rely on, like that you can rely on. So it's venues that you can rely on because you've worked with them, caterers that you can rely on, even the type of wine that you purchase. So go with things that you're already aware of, and then have a few things that you want to interject that are kind of wild cards that you might sample or test out. But to me, it's go with that base that you're comfortable with, and then everything else kind of you can test, and no one will notice if it wasn't your favorite or didn't go as well as it should have. And in regards to a dinner event or like a gala, anything like that, that's sort of my thing, is go with people that you trust. And yeah.
Pet peeve?
People that say one thing and do another.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah, it's none of us up here, but.
No.
And hidden talent, Terri?
You know what if I would tell you, it wouldn't be hidden anymore, but.
Profound.
I'm a decent ping pong player. That's not a hidden talent.
You're in the right place.
Is it? There's ping pong
get
here?
the table out.
We have a ping pong table in the house.
Are you serious? Beer pong
even
too?
Return
beer pong
them.
Well, she wants to play. I don't know. But I can do a loon call every once in a while when I'm at the lake, only on the river, like on water. Loon call.
Let's hear it.
You wanted to hear?
I'll show you guys the back of the bar later.
Okay, later. Okay.
Mics. It just doesn't translate well through mic, unfortunately.
So later on, stick around. Stick around. We'll do some bird calls.
There you go.
All right. Well, that is it. So thank you, everybody. Let's give a round of applause for Terri.
Thank you.
Awesome job.